What keeps you going?
I don't know anything else that I'm qualified to do, that I have the ability, the talent to do, that I could do that gives me as much fun. If I could sing, if I could perform, if I could be a musician.
You try all the time.
But I have enough sense to know, keep your day job, kid.
Some of his friends say there are really two Ed Bradleys, the hard-working correspondent, and the other guy who would never miss an event like the New Orleans Jazz Festival. Ed actually has another name for this character.
I call him Teddy. Teddy's a little different than Ed. Teddy will get up on stage and play with the Neville Brothers. Ed would never do that. Now, I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play anything. And so it's always sort of a joke when Teddy gets up there to play, because my ability is very limited. Music is my bliss.
Even in his office, there's always jazz playing.
What time do we do studio today?
He's sophisticated, stylish, self-assured, certainly the only man on 60 Minutes who would wear an earring.
Hey, Bradley, how are you?
How are you?
In the field, on assignment, these characteristics come together in his remarkable performance as an interviewer. He makes people forget the lights and the cameras and concentrate on telling their stories.
3 or 4 weeks, I might like to lose words because I'm nervous.
Yeah, don't be. And it's just, it's not live television. So if you make a mistake, we'll stop and start over again.
Okay.
And if I'm talking to you for however long it takes, I'm yours.
He's my husband.
And you still love him?
I love him, yes.
Do you think he killed those men?
It's 2 times you've asked it.
Answer it for me.
In my heart, no.
I'm going to listen, and I'm going to ask, and I'm going to do what I have to do to get the story. I hate to say it, Dennis, but it just doesn't, on the surface, look good.
His producers say his secrets are his facial expressions and the way he uses his hands.
I don't see due diligence on your part. I mean, this is just me. It's not something that's, okay, well, let's do this, or let's do that. I don't know. I just sit down and I'm me. Did you ever have trouble facing a day then? Or did you ever think that, the worst?
Ed's interviews are among the best, but in the comfort of his home, he'll admit that one of them actually scared him.
Jack Henry Abbott. Interviewed him in the Brooklyn House of Detention.
They said I was crazy. I don't know.
I was very much aware that this is a guy, one, who's killed someone. That 2, in prison, has attacked someone, stabbing him with a pen.
I had the knife, but it was like this. I didn't realize I still had it in my hand.
And he had my pen, and I was asking him some tough questions.
Come on, Jack. Look, you're an intelligent, reasonable person. You understand what's going on.
I was living down there.
Sure, there was fear. But I'm not going to let you know that there's fear. You move this way, I'll move that way. You move this way, I'll move that way. Whichever way you go, you give me a shot, hey, I'll take it and counter. That's what you do.
He likes sports metaphors, and he likes the action, too. If he and the New York Knicks are in town on the same night, Ed's at the game.
You go out with your
Often with his godson, Cordell.
Go out with your camera. Play with chocolate.
Fixing dinner at home is a chance to talk about Cordell's plans to get into the news business.
Do you have a job? Yeah, he said there's an opening for a market reporter.
Ed Bradley is aware all the time that he carries a burden the other correspondents do not. To encourage certain young men and women in their dreams. And to tell them truthfully, his were not easily realized.
Well, relocate anywhere.
I felt the pressure of race since 1967 when I started working for WCBS Radio. And too often in this country, we are judged by the color of our skin and not by the content of our character. That people look at someone and will make assumptions based on color. So the pressure is there. It's been there every day of my life.
In his early 50s, he regularly spends time working off the stress of a job that has him traveling on assignment almost 8 months of the year to cover more than 24 stories.
It's physical. Lift, push. And that sort of frees the mind.
You remember that character Teddy from a little earlier? Here he is getting ready to be Ed Bradley again. The correspondent who can talk easily with world leaders or convicted murderers or an entertainer like Lena Horne.
I'd looked at every interview Lena Horne had done. I knew every story she had to tell. And that night, I heard things I'd never read before, I'd never heard before.
They said to Max Factor, look at this woman. Look at her. Say, create a makeup to make her look more colored. That's a little something we used to call each other before we got straight.
I mean, you laugh and you joke about it,
Of
but
course.
it's not funny. It wasn't funny to you then.
It wasn't funny, no.
You ever think of trying to pass?
My grandmother would have died. It would never occur to me to be anything but what I was.
She's just a wonderful person.
I felt that he and I had a bond in common, a racial bond. I wasn't aware of the camera or the microphones, or I was aware of him as a person. We're a lot alike in many ways we view things.
That song that you use in the finale, it's your life.
Yes, yes, it is.
Believe in yourself.
Yes. Well, I believe in my real self now, yes.
But it took you a while to find that.
Yes. Well, some people are late bloomers.
She overcame a lot in her life, and she felt comfortable enough with me to share it with the audience. That's special.